In just 50 days, Donald Trump has upended our world.
You're gambling with World War III. It's Gaza, it's a war-torn area. We're going to take it. We need Greenland one way or the other. We're going to get it.
To some, the disruptor-in-chief will bring peace and prosperity by putting America first.
Donald Trump is a very intelligent man.
To others, he threatens chaos and destruction.
I think he's an idiot.
Well, he's quite unpredictable.
And that makes you worry about your own security?
Yeah, my own and everybody else's.
For decades, we've taken it for granted America has our back. We can't anymore.
USAID, run by radical lunatics.
Please, Mr. President, do something.
We're leaving the headlines behind, travelling to places where Donald Trump's already had a huge impact on countless numbers of lives, changing our world after only 50 days in office. We've come to Kenya, where a decision made thousands of miles away in Washington is threatening some of the world's most vulnerable people. We're driving through one of Nairobi's poorest neighbourhoods, a place where thousands of people have depended on American aid for years. Now President Trump has turned off that tap almost completely. We've come to investigate what impact that is having on people's lives here and what it means for their future. We're joining health workers on their rounds. This place is desperately poor. People live down sewage-infested alleys, in small, cramped buildings and tiny one-room homes.
This house is very small. Enter one by one. This is a problem. The child has no weight.
First on the rounds is Anne, a single young mother who's HIV positive. Anne is totally dependent on medicine and food that was supplied by US aid. But now all that is in doubt. She's also waiting for test results to see if she's passed on the virus to her baby. And is terrified for the future.
Kwa sababu zinaweza enda hivyo ziishe na unajua hizo ndio vitu tunategemea. So zile the medicine was inanipa at least ndio ni nguvu na protection. Sasa hakuna unaona so protector wa mwili yangu hayuko so anything can just pass through me. Yeah.
We had no warning. It was so sudden.
How worried are you?
Very worried. Very, very worried. My worst fear is that we are going to lose children under the age of 5, especially those breastfeeding from positive mother, because of this cat. And it is going to be worse.
How many children do you think?
Over 20,000 children across several counties that are covered by our organization.
In the area you cover, your area, your charity, you think 20,000 children?
Yes, yes.
It's the same story wherever we go. In another one-room home, we find Irene, who's also HIV positive, with 3 children, all with different health problems of their own. Jesse is how old?
Tomorrow is turning 2.
He's 2 tomorrow. Happiness, how old are you?
8.
8. And Joseph, how old are you?
6.
6. She is also beside herself with fear for the future, but has this message for the American president.
Please, Mr. President, for the sake of the vulnerable ones, and for the sake of the young little children like this one, please do something and return the funds for us.
USAID gave Kenya around $850 million a year. Around the world, it provided 40% of all developmental aid. The Trump administration has ended 90% of its aid contracts with immediate effect. The decision's being fought over in the US courts, but its impact is already being felt across Africa. So we've flown about 45 minutes west of Nairobi to a place called Kisumu. It's a much more rural area, so different kinds of problems. But we're being told that the American aid cut is having just as drastic an impact here as in Nairobi. We go to a hospital on the edge of town. These places were hubs for USAID to dispense their medicine. we're shown the hospital's storerooms.
So this is for treatment for people who are HIV positive?
Yeah.
With no deliveries since the cut, Joseph, the pharmacist, tells us they've got just 2 months of supplies left for some drugs, less than a month for others. Fear, he says, is rising among the patients.
They keep on asking, what is going to happen after this?
So they're stockpiling the drugs?
Yeah, they're trying to pile the drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're worried they can't get more?
Yeah, pick it anywhere they can get more, then pile them in their homes so that they can use it for the longest time possible.
Not all Kenyans, though, see Donald Trump in the same light.
Donald Trump is actually quite popular in Kenya amongst many because of his conservative politics on gender and trans issues, for instance. We're going to church now to see what Christians make of his aid cuts here.
For evangelical Christians, Donald Trump has been viewed as a hero, fighting for their values.
I'm a medical practitioner. We either have males or females. And so I agree with him because from the point of creation, that is what I understand.
But they are all worried by the aid cuts. Peter told us Africa is too dependent on aid, but Trump was wrong to cut it so suddenly.
He wants to make America great again. I don't know, because we see America as great, but maybe he has to make it greater. If that is what he wants to do for the country, it is okay, it is good. A country should benefit its people. Yeah, but in the long run, a country should also extend an olive branch to others.
Donald Trump is a very intelligent man.
Today, their bishop is telling the faithful to pray that Donald Trump reverses his decision on aid.
His name is Jesus. His name is Jesus.
There is a sense of bewilderment. The US president has taken such drastic action against some of the world's poorest people. But also, it may not be good for America either. Back in Nairobi, we're going on safari. Not to look at the animals, but to see what America's rivals have been up to in Africa. America and China have been battling for power and influence across Africa. America using aid, education, healthcare and promoting democracy. The Chinese doing this, building massive infrastructure projects like this $14 billion railway line from Nairobi to the coast right through this national park. Now, by shutting down its aid programs, America is effectively deserting that battlefield, leaving a vacuum for the Chinese to fill. From here, that feels less like America first and more like America in retreat. On a Chinese-built airport expressway, we're heading out of Nairobi now to leave Kenya, on the way back to Europe, going somewhere else, also facing an uncertain future in these fast-changing times, but for very different reasons. We're on our way to the edge of the free world. We're in one of NATO's newest member countries, Finland, and we're driving towards its border with Russia.
So the Russians are just over there in those blue buildings?
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
We're joining Finland's border guard. The border was closed with Russia because of the war in Ukraine. There are tensions with people in the area reporting sightings of drones. Recruits are training to repel a border intrusion with live fire. There's been a surge in people joining up because of the situation.
For the defense of our own country. Most of us, I think, are here because of that. We have 1,300 and something kilometers border with Russia, and it's pretty long. We have to have good men there.
To defend it?
Yeah.
And what do you think about the situation with Russia?
I don't know. The country that you cannot trust anymore.
When you watch the news, what do you think?
I think it's crazy. When you turn your TV on today, you can't know never what is really happening.
What's that make you feel about the world?
Pretty nervous, but I really trust our leaders then. It's all about the trust.
Finland has historic reasons not to trust Russia and is now even more on its guard.
Stand by.
And it's not just the military. More More and more civilians are also training to handle guns. Hundreds of new shooting ranges opening up since the start of the war to meet rising demand.
The situation in Ukraine, people are noticing that, well, we maybe need to be ready to take care of ourselves. And when you know how to handle arms, it makes you feel that you are doing your own part to prepare.
Are people worried about the situation, do you think?
More or less. Some are more, some are less. But I think that it's generally people start to think about it.
Were you surprised when you heard that Trump's decided to suspend all aid to Ukraine?
Well, I think it's a part of his making his point.
Does it worry you or?
Yeah, a lot.
Donald Trump worries you?
Yeah.
What in particular?
Well, he's quite unpredictable.
And that makes you worry about your own security?
Yeah, my own and everybody else's.
But if it did come to a situation where things got more dangerous, you would be prepared for it?
Yeah. Bring it on.
Putin, Trump, Ukraine. Finns are watching events unfold warily.
It is the shadow of an old enemy looming across this border that is focusing minds here and right across Europe, but also massive doubts about an old friend. Under Donald Trump, the US is not just withdrawing from Europe, it looks like it might be switching sides, deserting the West entirely, cutting off aid for Ukraine, attacking allies with tariffs, and talking about taking over its neighbours.
So what's it like to live somewhere Donald Trump says he wants for America? We went to Greenland to find out.
We need Greenland for national security and even international security.
So we've arrived in Greenland just a few days after Donald Trump repeated his ambition to take it for America, something he says is going to happen one way or another. That's been condemned by the government here as unacceptable, but we're here to see what the people of Greenland make of him.
The appeal of the place is obvious when you get here. Stunning natural beauty, mineral wealth, and access to the Arctic as climate change melts the ice. But it's not up for sale.
I got 2 death threats.
Jürgen Bosen is rare among Greenlanders, welcoming Trump's attentions.
When people say that they're not happy with you, what do they say to you though?
Oh, traitor, you're selling our country, you're fascist.
He admits he's paid by groups in America, but says with Trump, Greenland has a better future.
Europe is failing. Britain, Sweden, Belgium, Holland, even Germany. I think he's a great man who wants to have a peace in the world.
Are you popular here for what you're doing for Greenland? A lot of people don't seem to like the idea of joining America under Donald Trump.
I don't care, because they will realize I'm doing the good thing for Greenland.
But it's hard to find anyone else who agrees.
We're part of the Denmark, you know. I don't want him to take Greenland.
I think he's an idiot.
It's not a good idea.
No, we're our own country.
And we would rather be with Denmark than
with
USA.
Trump.
Yes.
I think it's ridiculous that he thinks that he can just take our land.
Does it worry you then when he says he wants to take Greenland?
A little bit, mostly because we don't have the resources to fight against USA.
Wherever we've gone on this journey, the world has been in shock. America used to believe that helping others was good for America, whether that was keeping the peace in Europe, protecting the sovereignty of neighbours, or saving lives. The fear is under President Trump, it is just out for itself.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
Whether or not that is good for America at home, from what we've witnessed abroad, it is risking millions of lives, the security of allies, and America's own standing in the world, potentially strengthening its enemies, all in the name of putting America first.